All right, brother. Episode 46 of By the Numbers. What are we talking about tonight?
We got Leo. We got Hunger Games songbirds and ballads or something and snakes.
Snakes and shoots and ladders and bells and whistles.
We have robots. We have Believer 2. And my mind is freezing. I forget the fifth movie.
Killer Book Club.
Yeah, Killer Book Club. There you go. On Netflix.
All right. I can't wait. Let's get it started.
Let's go.
All right. Now I just got to find the video. There it is. What's up, my friends? Thank you for joining us for the Faces for Radio podcast as we present By the Numbers, where we take new releases and we watch them, we score them, and we let you know what we thought. This is episode 46. I am your host, David, aka the 4K Lowdown, and my co-host is
Rich, aka TurnerFan77. How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay, brother. How you doing?
Well, okay. Been a shitty day, but hey, we're here to talk movies, so it's going to make it a better day.
This is where the day gets better. Because you and I get to sit, shoot the shit, talk movies. It always makes me feel better.
Me too.
And what a show we had last night.
Yeah,
with Caveman. His six-pack was a lot of fun. Some interesting movies, and I like his thought process on it. He was doing stuff that kind of flew under the radar. You know, not necessarily big name movies. None of those movies really made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that was a fun show. It was good to have K-Man in there. And
such a nice guy.
I'm sorry he had to sleep on the couch last night. I'm gonna take partial blame for that.
It's all Dave's fault.
It's all my fault. But you know, it is what it is. Speaking of sleeping on the couch, Caveman wanted to say, I forgot to ask for my cookie last night, but brother, you do not get your cookie because you were late. It wasn't your fault.
Oh yeah.
You were late, so no cookie for you, brother. But we really loved having you on the show. I really appreciate you being there. I loved your enthusiasm and your thoughts, especially sending us the movies, and it was awesome. And so, brother, thank you, and
thank you for that, man. Really appreciate it.
I look forward to having you back on for a By the Numbers or another High Five or for Film and Friends when we start doing those episodes. We'll definitely have you on for one of those episodes. I also said in honor of the Naked Gun release, would everyone please OJ / the like button? And remember, if the glove don't fit, you must quit. My bro Mike is on early this time, so his alarm must have gone off. Let's get started and talk about some movies. We are going to do that. Brother Holland, thank you for jumping in. Appreciate that. And Mike says, Caveman wants 2 cookies to make up for yesterday. Well, he does get a cookie for today, but not for yesterday because he was late. So, you know what? I liked this week, bro.
I'm glad you did. I mean, the movies didn't overly excite me.
No, they weren't. They weren't all like tremendous, but I liked them all. There wasn't a turd for me. I had some issues with a couple.
Me too.
But all in all, I think for certain people, I would recommend all of these movies to somebody.
Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Right. So, because there's some that they're specifically genre based, where you're like, you know what, I wouldn't recommend this to everyone, but if you like this type of movie, I think that you would like this. And that's how I'm going to go with that. But there isn't one that I'm going to go, nope, I don't recommend it. I think it was total crap, and I don't think any of these movies were crap. There were actually some surprises that I
There's
like
one movie
more.
I was surprised.
Yeah. And Jeff is in the house. What's up,
What's
Jeff?
up, Jeff?
Thank you so much, brother, for being in here. But yeah, did you have any that you just didn't like, or were there?
No, I didn't like. I just
There's no 90s in here. I'm just gonna spoiler alert. There's no 90s. Nothing that's like screams Oscars.
They were just okay movies. They were. Oh, what's up, Evan?
What's up, Evan? We got Evan coming up next week.
Hope he's ready.
Hope he's ready. He needs to, limber up because we're gonna stretch him out. And I didn't mean that in an obscene way. Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, there wasn't a spectacular movie in the bunch.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed them all.
Yeah.
And
would you watch these movies again?
All but one.
I think I would say all but two for me.
Yeah. Maybe two. But I think there's two of them. There's one that I just would not watch again. One time watch, done. And there's another one that I'd be like, I wouldn't put it in and I won't buy it. But if somebody's watching it, I might sit and watch it.
Okay.
Speaking of sitting and watching, Corey, what's up,
Corey?
Appreciate you being here, brother. And we got Corey on the 20th.
Yeah.
For By the Numbers. So I love the guests that are willing to come here, especially come back, because this will be Evan's like third time being on the show. Once for High Five, and then he did the top 10 Disneys, and now he's going to do By the Numbers. This is going to be Corey's second time doing By the Numbers. So they are clearly gluttons for punishment, and I applaud them for that.
Me too.
But yeah, haven't heard from Alex yet.
I think we fucked him up.
I think we messed him up where he's not going to make it back.
Yeah.
Remember Top Gun where the guy in the Cougar couldn't fly back to the ship? That was Alex. Since he nominated Top Gun Maverick a whole bunch of times last year, I'm going to put that reference in there. Yeah, our show really screwed him up. He's not going to make it back. But he will make it back for our award show coming up in January, you guys. So keep this under your hats right now. That what was previously called the Lowdown Awards, because we have Geeks and Flicks joining us. We are going to affectionately call it the Geeks with Faces for Radio Awards. And so our 2023 awards will air sometime in January of 2024, because we're going to talk about our favorite movies from this year. So I'm looking forward to that. It was great last year. I had a blast, and I'm just thinking it's going to be even better.
Yeah.
Jeff says, I just got done hanging with Corey over on KB's channel. Always a good time with him. Yeah, Corey's cool. And Evan says, I always come back. If I didn't, how will I make fun of Rich? No. Yeah, you can't leave that all to me. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it. It's a dirty job. All right.
Funny.
So, all right, we've got 5 movies. This is our base show. We take 5 movies over the week. We watch them, we review them, we score them, and then we rank them in order from 5 to 1. Not necessarily, that they're bad, just lower score to highest score. And that's average between the two of us. And I got to tell you, we're almost dead even on a lot of these movies. I think all but one.
Really?
All but one. We're within 1 or 2 points of each other.
Oh, wow. I'm just looking at my scores right now.
I was like, whoa. Rich and I were kind of on the same page with these. That's really interesting. Caveman says, I see you got your musical in, David. Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that in a second. And what's up, Chris? Thank you so much. Slash the like button. I appreciate that. Yes, I want to thank everybody that joins us live And I want to thank everybody that joins us on the replay. And just remember that this show is sponsored by Spotify for podcasting. I'm going to get it out early this time because they take the audio portion of our live cast and they put it out on their Spotify system and also transfer it to Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pocket Cast, Castbox, Radio Public, and Google Podcasts. They do it all for free. They sponsor us. And once we get more followers, they'll give us more sponsors. So thank you, Spotify for podcasting, for doing that for us. But now we can get started. So, all right. What do you think was in last place this week?
I'm going to go Killer Book Club.
Killer Book Club. I think you're on the right track, but yeah, let's go. So our number 5 movie of the week is... That's right. It is Killer Book Club, coming in 5th place. Now, but that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I liked this.
I did too.
This was a pretty good slasher movie, but I'm gonna say it felt boilerplate to me. It was Scream. It was, I was like, it felt like Scream. It behaved like Scream. But the kills were a little bit more unique.
Yeah. And
I liked the kills in it. I liked the gore in it. So I gave some points for visual and practical effects here. But
the twist, I kind of saw coming.
The twist was who I thought was the killer originally.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I mean, like almost the first scene of the movie.
Yeah.
Which at first
when
they first showed, because they show each of the characters and introduce them in the beginning. As soon as they did that, I knew who the killer was.
Yeah.
And then so the twist for me was what happened before the twist. So but I kind of called that early too. As soon as a certain thing happened in the movie, and I was like, oh, now I think this person's the killer.
And this is a Spanish movie too. It's a foreign movie.
It's a foreign movie. Definitely do subtitles. The dubbing is awful, as Netflix normally has dubbing really bad. Definitely do the subtitle if you can. If not, it's a slasher movie. So I wasn't worried about the acting so much, but the acting was really good.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad
for these being like a bunch of teenagers and stuff. So I'm going to read the synopsis really quick so you guys know what's going on. It says, 8 horror-loving friends fight for their lives when a killer clown who seems to know the grim secret they share begins to pick them off one by one. Also, this reminds me of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. I think more so than Scream.
More so than Scream, except for the antagonist situation. Yeah. And what's going on there. So, I mean, basically they took the beginning of I Know What You Did Last Summer and the end of Scream and smacked them together.
With a Happy Death Day mask.
With a Happy Death Day in the middle. With the big mask.
Yeah.
All that. But, I liked the weapon that was used. I thought that was kind of cool. There was a lot of symbolism, like with the Don Quixote statue, and I didn't understand the first scene until you get further into the movie with the fire.
Oh yeah. I didn't get it either.
So it seemed like that was disconnected until the story comes together, and then you realize what that's about. So I actually liked that in the story. But my story and script scores ended up a little lower than I expected because I was like, it seemed like they were just trying to copy stuff that already existed as far as dialogue and things like that. But
still a good time.
Still enjoyed it. Chris said Killer Book Club looks interesting. No longer have Netflix though. Oh, sorry to hear that, brother.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it is on Netflix right now. And but yeah, I enjoyed it. I really liked I love the kills. I liked the ending. I dug how they did, except the very, very end. That one, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was like,
they should just did that.
They shouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have minded if it was like psychological maybe or something like that. But at least it still kind of seemed that way. The way they did it, it seemed like it was in her mind, but I wasn't sure. I think, maybe like her just randomly seeing the dude in the mask or something like that. Maybe that would have been better. Or I would have just ended it with her like being the final girl and coming out of it. I don't think
the way I think it should have ended.
Yeah, I don't think they needed to do that extra bit in the end.
Yeah. I agree.
I do like it when they continue the story, but I wouldn't mind a sequel for this if they
I'd watch it.
Continue the story like that. I'd watch it. I'd watch it again if they did a Killer Book Club 2. I'd be down for it. Because that was one thing, because they do talk about sequels in the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, does that mean you're gearing up for a sequel? Because if you are, because she says a line in the end that talks about what to do with a sequel, how to properly do a sequel, or how to not do a sequel correctly.
Well, they're in class. No, they're in a bookstore or something. No,
they're in a class. They're in a class. Yeah. So yeah, this was fun. But let's go to our highlights on it. Oh, I've got pictures before we do that. Ba-doop, 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 ba-doop. So you guys can get an idea of what's going on. And those are most of the friends, because these guys are all part of a book club, and something happens and they have to hide a secret. And then like 6 months or a year later, the secret comes back to bite them in the ass. No pun intended. But, and of course, one by one, they're getting picked off or whatever. And then you have to find out who the killer is. But like I said, cool death scenes, really kind of like an overdone storyline. When you're looking at two franchises that have at least 3 movies apiece, that this movie kind of is based on those two. So it's got its good and its bad, but I enjoyed it as a horror movie fan. I liked it. I think it's worth it for slasher fans and for horror movie fans to watch, but not necessarily for people who don't like horror. And this is
for foreign movies. If you don't like foreign movies,
if you don't like foreign movies, if you just can't stand them, then yeah, probably not for you. But horror movie fans, yes, I think this is worth a watch. All right, now we'll go to the highlights. Writing this back up. So where are we? Killer Book Club. There you are. All right. So, Rich, your highest is an 8. You gave an 8 to the story. You gave 7s to acting and script, and a 7 to the wild card. I have 8s for acting, ending. I did give an 8 to the story, and I think that was because of the twist. Cinematography because of the visual effects, and wild card. So, yeah. Slasher dude here. Then I'll try and check it out. Yeah, you like slashers, bro. I think you'll like this.
Yeah. Like David said earlier, it's got some great kills. Yeah. I think one of my favorite is when they're chasing that girl through the carnival or whatever the hell it is. In the broad daylight. I like that.
Yeah. When that atrium thing or whatever with all the stuff. Yeah, I dug that. That was pretty cool. And then if you guys watch the trailer shows like the killer chasing this girl through a library and stuff. And that was also pretty cool. But very, very much feels like Scream.
Yeah.
With the way they're trying to fight back and things happen. I did like it when one of the guys, and I think it was outside a bar, he lifts the mask on the killer, and he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And then he died.
Yeah.
Like he was like, "Really?"
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty cool because he was like, "What the heck?" So did the glove fit with this one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the glove fit. But yeah, I don't think it's your style. You're not a horror movie fan.
Oh yeah, you
this
won't like
definitely
this
not your style. But I think for horror movie fans and for my buddy Chris, the slasher dude, I think it's definitely worth a watch.
You might like it if Bill Murray was the killer.
Yeah. The Man Who Knew Too Little too. The Killer Book Club. Well, he's a zombie. All right, so let's go to our final scores on Killer Book Club. Coming in 5th, but not because we didn't like it. IMDb is giving this a 4.6. Rotten Tomatoes critic score is 8%. Audience score is 25%. And this is because it fails in 2 areas for Rotten Tomatoes. It's a foreign movie and it's a horror movie. And they never score those very well. So I disregard that altogether. But Rich, you gave it a 60 and I gave it a 70 for an average score of 65. And that's our lowest score.
Bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for number 4?
I'm ready for number 4.
All right. What do you think it is?
I'm gonna go robots.
I think you're batting 1,000. So yeah, let's go. Let's take a look at our number 4 movie for this week.
Thomas Newton was sentenced to 28 years after he had an illegal robot double of himself.
You hear that, robot? Yes, Charles. We need to be more careful.
So yes, our number 4 movie of the week is Robot, starring Shailene Woodley and Jack Whitehall.
She's gorgeous.
She is beautiful in this movie. And I didn't think of her like that in the Divergent series. I was just like, she looks really plain Jane. But I gotta say, when she was E3, dude.
Yeah.
I had to hit pause a couple times. And not to walk away. I want to say thanks to my son Eric, who gave us a like on Facebook just now.
Thank you.
I love you, son. He's all, whoa, be careful. And I double checked. It's considered a peekaboo, so it's at best PG-13. I was gonna blur it, but so I was trying to tie it into the joke earlier. Yeah, I know. It's okay. But
this wasn't bad.
This wasn't bad. I liked this. I wasn't interested when I watched the trailer.
Me neither.
I was like, okay, whatever. But this turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
And
but this is the one I don't think I would watch again.
Yeah, this is the one where I wouldn't watch, but if someone had it playing, I would probably sit with them. I wouldn't buy this. I wouldn't watch it again. But Jack Whitehall, Jack Whitehall, and I know you're doing a joke, but and really, these are the only 2 I recognize in the movie.
Yeah, for the most part. Well, no, I recognize the guy that did the robots. He was in a Netflix show that I really loved.
Yeah, I did not recognize him.
Yeah,
but I knew both of these 2 by name. So, so let's read the synopsis on it. Kind of get that out of the way. And of course, the cartoon keeps coming up. Want to type it in. So Charles is a womanizer while Elaine is a gold digger. The duo learn humanity when forced to team up to pursue robot doubles of themselves. And that's basically it. They have robot
hits the nail
doubles
on
that
the
do
head.
all the crap jobs for them. And then all of a sudden the two robots get together and they take off. And point in the clip that I showed was that having robot doubles of yourselves is illegal and you could go to prison for it. So what's up, Reed?
What's up,
Spicy is in the house. Thanks for joining, brother. But yeah, I enjoyed this. It was funny. It was I didn't like Fat Ninja, but I'm like, okay, fine. I kind of felt like it was me. Robots was out a while ago. So it did come out physical in August, but it just premiered on Hulu, which is why it's on our By the Numbers. I feel like I saw this months and months ago. Yeah, so it actually came out physical first, and then was just released to Hulu last week. So last week or 2 weeks ago. It was recent.
Yeah, quite too long ago.
Yeah. So that's why we're reviewing it now, because it was just released to Hulu. Anyway. Yeah, I had to play. I had to show that because their eyes were all weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched this last night after Caveman Show because you're talking about it, and I was like, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't even watched the trailer. I didn't know what it was about. It looked like a romantic comedy.
Yeah, it played like that. I mean,
and it played like that. Yeah, and I'm not a fan of romantic comedies. Very few that I like. I know you like them, but this, with the sci-fi element and the other stuff, and man, Jack Whitehall's character was such a douchebag in this movie.
Yeah, it was.
I loved it, and I was like, it reminds me of Ricky Gervais in Ghost Town, how he behaved. He was shutting the elevator door on people, and he hit the stroller with his car and he's like, parking meter was up, and there's a baby in the stroller.
Or when he's having, I died laughing when he's having sex with that girl. He has the robot do all the work for him.
Yeah, and then comes in just for the yum yum. Yeah. And he's not that good because the look on the girl's face was like priceless. I can't say I've seen that before, but
that's funny.
Google says release day was May 19th. Maybe it did have a theatrical run, but very limited. Yeah, August 30th was when it came out to physical.
I don't know. I didn't know. I thought it was a Hulu original. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it kind of behaved like a Hulu original, but I wonder. Yeah, it made 203,000 in the box office. So it did have a box office run
in Russia.
Russia. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't look it up anymore because I'm getting some kind of error message that there's a virus on that site. So, so I can't touch that site anymore.
Guys, he's looking up porn site. Don't let him fool you.
Haha, in Russia. But yeah, when we saw it was like either Russia or Australia or something like that. But no, it's just that site. I go to my shortcut to get to that site, and it's like, nope, it's not protected anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing pretty well. Yeah. Caveman was fun. Loved having that show. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for saying that, brother. I appreciate that. But yeah, this is one where I'm like, okay, if you like rom-coms and you're kind of in the mood for anything, I did have some problems on Hulu, and it made it more enjoyable for me because it kept buffering and I kept wondering if the robots were buffering, like it would just freeze and it would be on the robot, and I'm like, okay, is it the robot that's buffering? And then and then Hulu would, I'd get that bar, and then it would start up again, and I'm like, oh, okay, so Hulu's doing it. And it was really funny because the first couple of times I was like, oh, this is kind of a cool effect, but it wasn't part of the movie. It was Hulu fucking with me. So it was funny. Did not give him most bonus points for that, but it did kind of throw me off there first. But let's go to our highlights on robots. Talk about that for a second. So you have 8s in acting and ending, and then 7s almost everywhere else. Plot, story, script, direction, and wild card. I have 8s in story and script, and then I have 7s in acting, ending, cinematography, direction, music, and wild card. There's one thing that I really liked, and I gotta go back to Killer Book Club, because it was watching Killer Book Club, and when they were started to get the things on their phone, and how the screen they were in the dark and the screen would go white, and then they'd go to whatever it was, and then their faces would turn red because the color was red. I just love that effect. I don't know if it was on purpose, but I liked how as soon as they saw the site, the light on their phone changed to red because it was red. It was a red website. And I just thought that was a cool thing. Anyway, back to this. Let's go to our final scores on robots. But yeah, I think this is worth a watch. It's not great by any means.
If you have Hulu, why not?
If you have Hulu, it's better than some of the other stuff we've seen.
Zombie Town.
Zombie Town and The Mill and Appendage. But yeah, it evidently not a Hulu owned thing. So,
which I thought it was. So
the production company is Company Films, whatever that means. But let's go to our final scores on robots coming in 4th place, you guys. IMDb is giving this a 5.5. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 20%. Audience score 38%. Rich, you gave it a 66, and I gave it a 68 for an average score of 67.
Nice. Another good score.
Good score. Now, pay attention here to the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Okay.
Because when we do the next movie, look at the difference in the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Okay.
Even though this next movie, we're really close. I think we're like 1 point off in the average score.
Okay.
Between this movie and what's number 3.
I am gonna go. Oh man.
Yeah, great stream on Pops' channel. All right. So what is number 3?
I'm gonna go Leo.
Man, you are batting 1,000. So yeah, our number 3 movie this week is
Let's just get through it.
I hope everyone's met our class pets, Leonardo and Squirtle. I'm not touching those things.
Don't they eat, sleep, and poo in the same place?
Hey, I poo where he sleeps.
So yeah, this is Leo, you guys. Again, it's on Netflix. Just recently came out, and god damn it, it's a musical. Because I was like, the first movie first start, and I'm like, oh, Rich, you got to be kidding me.
Wait, there's music in this? What are they singing?
They're singing all the time in this movie.
I guess I never noticed it.
The whole movie, they're singing in this damn thing.
Are you talking about Hunger Games?
No. They're singing in Hunger Games, but that wasn't a musical. This was a musical. They were singing dialogue here. Like their first day of school. oh, it's my first
yes,
school, and
yes,
I'm gonna
yes,
do
yes.
this. That was right
Yes,
in the beginning of the
you're
movie, and
right.
I'm like, oh, F this movie, bro. I was so mad.
That's true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then every single time that the lizard visited a kid, there was a song.
You're right.
Every single time.
You're right. Yeah, but I don't like Adam Sandler at all. I don't think
I don't
funny,
like Adam Sandler at all.
but I liked this.
I did like. You're not special. No, you're not awesome. But I liked this.
Me too.
It sends a great message to kids.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that should be a family film. The whole family should watch this.
Yeah.
But they're singing. and it's freaking Adam Sandler singing.
Yeah.
So because Adam Sandler plays the lizard, if you didn't notice by the clip, Adam Sandler is the lizard and Bill Burr is the turtle.
Yeah.
Which we just talked about in Old Dad, so I recognized him right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course he's got the usual players in here.
Yeah.
Chris Kattan is in here. Rob Schneider is in here. I was looking for Steve Buscemi, but I guess he wasn't in there. When I was 10, that was the song that I liked. Is that song When I Was 10. And the song, the last line of the one song, the one line, the last word in one line rhymed with the first word in the next line. And I was like, I thought that was really neat with the age.
I don't remember.
So yeah, when they sang the song When I Was 10 and all the kids did a part when I was 10, and then they ended the line that rhymed with 9, and then the next kid went When I Was 9, I did this, and then so they did that all the way down to 1, and then the whole I thought that was cool. That was my favorite song.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Man, quoting the whole damn movie. I thought babies came out of mommy's butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's read the synopsis on this. And then we're going to talk about it a little bit more because, yeah. So it says, a 74-year-old lizard named Leo and his turtle friend decide to escape from a terrarium of Florida school classroom where they have been living for decades. Now, that's a little bit incorrect. The turtle doesn't want to get out, just the lizard, because the lizard thinks that he's only going to live to 75. So he thinks he's going to be dead in a year. So he wants to go out and live his life. In doing this, and then there's a substitute teacher that comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And the substitute teacher reenacts like taking a pet home for the weekend. So a kid takes the pet home and, finds out the pet can talk. And then the lizard, and this is another one, animals talk, but I'm okay with animated animals talking, just not strays. So not regular animals. But so then Adam Sandler's character as Leo gives the kids advice. Each kid has their own good advice, a great advice. And it's not shaming when it's coming from a lizard. So it's not offensive, where some people would be offended by this.
Yeah.
Some of the things that he says. The kids all take it as good advice and start heeding to it, and the kids get better in the class. I love the message that it sends here.
Me too.
And I think it's really cool. Everybody talking to each other. So, but I also want to point out that Adam Sandler's daughters, Sadie and Sunny, Sadie and Sunny are both in this movie.
Yeah, I saw something about that.
Yeah. So it's really seemed like Adam Sandler giving fatherly advice to his kids and other kids, And then he went, wait a minute, I could probably turn this into a movie.
And the animation in it's fantastic.
I think the animation is great. I love the animation in it. Bill Burr is funny in it because he's basically Bill Burr as a turtle.
He is.
It was totally funny. But each of the kids has a thing. And I don't want to call it a condition. I don't want to call it I don't even want to call it a disability. It's like a quirk that's unique to them, but one that you can peg in a lot of kids that you see. Like the one that's always that, the parents are germaphobes. So they make him do all the, the Purell and can't have people over and things like that. And that kid has a drone following him, making sure that he's safe. So I'm like, speaking of helicopter parents, that's hilarious. But all these kids, there's the bully and the popular girl and the smart girl and things like that, kid going through divorce, but each one of them gets this great advice from Leo. And I like how they deal with it. I like how the substitute teacher reacted both positively and negatively to what was going on.
I hope this gets a physical release because I think I would buy it.
I think I would buy it. I wouldn't watch this again, but I would put this on for my granddaughter.
I would watch this again.
Yeah. This is the one I wouldn't watch again. I would leave the room for the songs, for the
Don't be a hater, Dave.
I'm a hater. I can't stand that crap. And I rolled my eyes every time. I was like, don't break into song. No. Damn it. Because I'm like, I like it. And I'm like, oh crap. And you can tell when the song's going to start. You can tell. And I'm like, they're going to sing and happy. And I'm like, fuck. So yes, I got my musical in Caveman. Yeah. No, I was not happy about it, but I did like this movie. And I think it is it's definitely worth seeing. And this is one of the better family movies on Netflix that I've seen this year.
I agree. 100%.
I like the special caveman. Yeah, so let's go to our highlights on it. Leo coming in third place. So Rich and I both have 10s for cinematography because the artwork is fantastic here.
Top notch.
Yeah. Rich, you have 8s for ending, story, script, direction, and wild card. I have 8s for ending and wild card, and then I have 7s for story, script, and direction. The big difference is I have a 7 for the cast and you have a 4. Yeah. I recognized a lot of these guys.
I just recognized them first two.
Yeah. The one that threw me was Joe Coy, was the gym teacher.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And I was like, I recognized the voice, and I'm like, he's changing it. There's something different about it. And then I went and looked it up. I was like, oh crap, that was Joe Coy. But yeah, I knew Rob Schneider right off the bat. I knew Jason Alexander right off the bat, who's
I didn't notice.
The popular girl's dad. Popular girl's dad was Jason Alexander, and knew as soon as I heard his voice.
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
So yeah, that's where I got the 7. But I'm with like Nick Schwarzden has a part in this. Like I said, all of Adam Sandler's cronies had these movies. The dad with all the back hair, that would be me. So but yeah, let's go to our final scores. Oh, I have pictures before we do that. So you can just tell. I mean, I'm looking at the artwork here and I'm like, this is
really good.
Really good. I really like the facial expressions of the kids.
Yeah.
And I had to do that.
Yeah.
But let's go to our final scores on Leo taking third place this week. IMDb is giving this a 7.0. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 80%. Audience score 93%. Rich gave it a 69. I gave it a 67 for an average score of 68. So now remember what we had for robots, right?
Yeah.
We had 66 and 68, and then it was 20 and 38 for the Rotten Tomatoes score, right?
Right.
And then 80 and 93 for Leo. And I have a theory why that is, because I think robots made humans look bad, made adults look bad.
Yeah.
And Leo actually taught kids a lesson and was, I think it just it hit that PC environment just perfect.
Yeah.
While still teaching them valuable lessons that, I mean, you and I were taught when we were kids. Only I don't know about, I was taught with a belt and a knife as opposed to, okay, now you have to be good.
I was taught with a belt and a wooden spoon.
I had the wooden spoon too until my mom broke it over my head.
Ooh.
And it was her favorite wooden spoon. So yeah, but no, with my stepdad, it was, belt and throwing knives and punching in the stomach and beating me with a stick, things like that. Needless to say, not enjoyable, but I enjoyed Robots and Leo, but finally fell asleep during Believer 2. That's fine.
It's okay.
That's okay. But if you were watching them in order, so like that, then yeah, by then you'd probably be tired.
Yeah.
I'm beat. Speaking of beat, let's go to number 2.
Oh, I'm gonna go Believer.
Okay. And once again, you are correct. Let's take a look at a clip from our movie that takes number 2.
Believer 2.
내 누군지 알아요. 간 선생님을 귀찮게 한 놈들은 싹 다 숨통을 끊어줄 거니까.
Yeah.
You dropped it. I had not seen the first one. I bet you didn't see the first one.
I didn't see the first one.
You're dropped right in the middle. There's no
no, there is no play. You don't get any flashbacks. You don't get anything. You're dropped right in the shit right off the bat. And I gotta say, I didn't care for that because I didn't see the first movie, and that bugged me because it took me a while to catch up, figure out what was going on. So if you do get a chance to watch this, and Caveman, if you wake up and watch this again, then I recommend watching the first one.
Did you go back and watch the first one?
Not yet, but I will.
Yeah.
Because there are some questions I need answered.
Yeah.
But I kind of caught up with what was going on about halfway through.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Mr. Lee
enough. and the chemicals, and okay, so I knew what the drug name was and I knew what they were doing. And then I liked the deaf guy, the deaf brother and sister. I liked them. I liked that girl who's called Big Knife. And because she's scary, dude.
Yeah.
She's badass. You assume correctly. Believer 2 is a sequel to the original movie called Believer. And my mom used the belt buckle and degrading comments. Honestly, don't know which was worse. The degrading comments are worse because wounds heal. But the degrading comments are worse. My stepmom once told me to commit suicide because I wouldn't amount to anything. And that hurt worse than any beating that I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
And after that, I lost all respect for her. Until she got dementia, and then she loved me. So, and may she rest because she passed away recently. But yeah, when I was in high school, she did not treat me real well. But yeah, I'd say that it's the verbal and emotional stuff that you don't heal quickly from.
Yeah.
Sometimes never. and I am done on that soapbox. So
the cinematography in this movie is fantastic.
It's fantastic. The way they filmed this was so
Mhm.
good. The action was amazing.
Mhm.
I liked how it ended. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody got shot in the head, but I mean, it was like one after another, like
Yeah, I was
shit
like,
going.
"Oh, wait a minute."
And I was like, "Whoa, oh, ah!"
Yeah.
And then that final one at the end, I was like, "Okay, perfect." That's, but
There's not a lot of drag time either. It's like it goes from one scene to there's a little, not I won't say lagging, but the action there's more and more. It doesn't.
yeah, no, there's no slow points. It's
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
constantly in your face. Something is going on physically that you're dealing with, and it's just. But yeah, it was just all that the dialogue in the beginning that, you know, without knowing the first movie, without
Yeah.
knowing what's going on, that's the only thing that I didn't like was that this is one that you have to watch the first
Yeah.
to really appreciate the second. But still really well done.
Yeah.
This is a Korean film, so again, it's foreign. I still recommend watching it in the original language and subtitled, but I was impressed. I liked it. I'm glad
you picked it. I'm glad you picked it.
Yeah, I'm glad I picked it too. We had to move one off because, you know, thanks to Caveman letting us know that one of the movies that we had picked was actually not going to come out till March. Yeah. So it's like, oh, well, crap. But yeah. Oh, thanks, brother. Hopefully.
I don't think we need a part 3.
I'm kind of done, actually. I mean, The Incredibles is my favorite animated movie, but Incredibles 2 was kind of a letdown for waiting that long for it.
You should have just left it alone.
Yeah, it actually says Incredible Dad. I don't want to stand up because I'm not wearing pants. But
yeah, we don't need to see your wiener, Dave.
But no, nobody needs to see that. And I don't think you can zoom in far enough anyway. But point is, yeah, it says Incredible Dad. And it really means a lot when my son bought this for me. My son bought this, and then my daughter bought the pants that match. So
put them on, Dave, please.
But yes, I will. But they're upstairs, so that means I'd have to get up and go get them. But no, I'm wearing pants. Yeah. No, this was good. I enjoyed this. I think it deserves to be in this spot as number 2 because it's got, and mainly the technical stuff, the cinematography and things like that. I think it definitely speaks a lot. But going to our highlights on it. So yeah, we both have a 10 for cinematography, and rightfully so. You also have a 10 to the wild card, and then you have a 9 to the story, and you have 8s to plot, script, and direction. I have just the 10 to cinematography, and that's it. I have 9s to ending and wild card. And then I have 8s to plot, script, and direction. So the lowest score, unfortunately, is cast because it's a foreign film. But I did recognize someone in there. So I actually gave it a 5 for the cast. I didn't, I'm really, the Korean names are really hard. But but I was like, oh, I know that guy from that movie. And yeah. So I was like, okay, that's 1 point. Yes, they do.
As the older you get, the farther they hang.
The farther they hang. Gravity is a bitch.
It's a bitch.
And yeah, it's
yeah.
It's really fun when you get them pinched under you when you sit down, because that's fun. Not that that's happened to me. But But yeah, no, I dug
It's
this.
fun.
I
Yeah.
absolutely think it's worth a watch. But yeah, this is one where I would want to go. If I watch this again, which I probably will. I don't anticipate a physical release for this.
Oh yeah, no.
But
maybe in Korea, but not here.
Maybe in Korea, but yeah.
You won't see one here.
Yeah. The original movie is from 2018. So, but this one, so the synopsis reads: a determined detective continues his search for the truth behind Asia's largest drug organization and its elusive boss he has unfinished business with.
And I like the boss, how that whole story played out.
Yes, me too.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I dug that because I was like, this Mr. Lee is gonna be somebody. I had no idea who it was. And you know, I wonder if maybe watching the first one would give me more of a clue.
Yeah.
But I did like the surprise of that and how that came out. Well, let's go to our final scores on Believer 2, coming in number 2 this week. And here we go. IMDb is giving this a 5.6. There is no Rotten Tomatoes critic score because there aren't enough reviews of it, but there's a 52 audience score and there's like 10 reviews for the audience score. Rich, you gave it a 78. I gave it a 77 for an average score of 77.5.
Close again.
My ex-father got one of his balls caught on a 70s woven folding lawn chair. That reminds me of Baywatch. Where the kid got his schlong stuck in the lawn chair. Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah. No. I got mine stuck in the theater. The theater was packed and I was trying to climb over the rail because I was in the front row right before because you walk in between, you have the front seats and then you have all the seats going up on the balcony, right on the main thing. So we're all in row C, and then there's a handrail right in front of you because it's where the walkway is. And I tried to climb over the rail, and the rail splits in two pieces, and I got my balls cut right in the middle of it.
Oof.
As I was climbing over with the theater full of people. And I'm like this, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm stuck. I need to." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, I made it." And I get out, and I'm like, I'm not doing that again. So I went under the rail, and I came back. What's up, Del?
What's up, Del?
Del, I'm glad to see you, my friend.
Del, he's just talking about his balls.
And I'm sorry, I was just talking about my balls. So I'm sorry you came in the middle of that. A lot of people are when they hear about my balls. But speaking of balls, let's go to our number one movie. Our number one movie of the week is the following.
It's a mystery, and mysteries have a way of driving people mad.
I like this one too.
Yeah. This was better than I thought it was going to be.
Me too.
So yeah, our number one movie of the week is in theaters now. It's The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And you guys, if you don't know, this is a prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy, which this is all about Snow when he was younger. So that's this main character in front. So it's kind of how he got started and what happened with him.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not a fan of this lady whatsoever.
Jingle ball.
I think she's needs to keep her mouth shut outside of acting.
Yeah.
But
she needs to shut her. I am not a fan of her.
Me neither. But
yeah,
I liked her in this. I didn't mind her. There was just something off. I don't mean like her acting was off, but I mean there was just something with her character that just seemed off. And then you kind of see why.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked her. in this.
I liked her in this. I liked her voice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I knew that with the whole Snow White thing, then I knew that she could sing because she was going to be Snow White.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not a fan of her personally. I do not like her views. But I had to throw that aside when I'm watching the movie.
Yep.
And I liked the movie. I love Viola Davis.
She's a little over the top, but I like that.
But she has to be because
Yeah.
she's from the Capitol. They're all over the top in the Capitol. I like Peter Dinklage's role here.
Yeah. Even the news guy, I like that.
Yeah. And that's, and I'm trying to remember if that is the younger version of Stanley Tucci's character.
I think it is.
I think it is, right? But it's played by Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a good job. The one thing I want to call out is the technology here. You could tell that the technology was lower.
Mm-hmm.
The level of technology was lower here than in the original trilogy, which was great. Yeah. Sometimes they don't do that to where you're looking at a prequel and you're going, wow, this looks way more advanced.
Yeah.
But why is that going back? Star Trek has a thing about that. I've come to accept that with Star Trek because when they did the original series in the 60s, everything was like light bulbs and stuff. And then now they've got like LEDs and things like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to let that slide. But it's just when they were in their heyday with Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and Voyager, and then Enterprise came out, which was the prequel, was Scott Bakula. That ship looked more advanced than Voyager did. And I was like, even though they're like, they made it look like it wasn't, and it didn't do the speeds and stuff, but then the controls and things like that. And I was a little disappointed there, but still like the series. I'm still a Star Trek fan. But I really like they were conscious about this here, even with the design of the event.
The drones didn't work.
The drones sucked because it was the first time they did it. Which I thought it was cool how that whole thing came about. But something that my brother says, he says the third act was really slow.
Yeah. They should just cut it out, in my opinion.
I think they should have cut it out. And my daughter, who is a huge Hunger Games fan, she agrees. She thinks this should have been 2 movies. And they took the third act and made that into 1 movie. And they could have drawn that out more because they really just snapped right to the ending where it was going to go. I had the technology issue with the Star Wars prequel.
Me too.
Same thing. Never watched any of the Hunger Games films. That's okay, Chris. They're not slashers, but yeah, I'm a fan of the books.
You care for Snow.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's a fucking asshole in the trilogy.
Yeah.
But they make you care for this guy.
Yeah.
He falls in love and yeah.
Stuff, and and he's, for being in the Capitol, he was really poor. Like they were barely trying to survive.
Yeah.
And where he needed to win the award for in order to be able to to live, to pay rent, and for him to go to college.
Yeah. And then Dinklage was a fucking asshole too.
Yeah. But I liked the reason for that.
Yeah.
There was something behind that was really cool. So I'm gonna read the synopsis. It says Coriolanus Snows mentors and develops feelings for the female District 12 tribute during the 10th Hunger Games. And that's a pretty simple way to put it. But yeah, that's essentially what it's about. The 2 Hunger Games before this should have been 1 movie. Yes. But, because Harry Potter did it and Twilight did it, they're going to do it. But yeah, I think
I agree.
I think the third book should have been 1 movie. And
Yeah.
I think that's what killed Divergent, because they split the third book into 2 movies, and the first movie didn't have enough in it, so it tanked. And
They never
so
made the third movie, right?
They never did the last movie.
Yeah.
They were going to turn it into a series.
Yeah, I knew that.
That tanked as well. They decided they weren't going to do that. I'm like you're going to get Shailene Woodley to do a series. That's not going to happen. So it was going to have a new star and everything, and people just totally like threw a fit about it. But I am not a fan of taking from these books to movies, taking the last book and making it into multiple movies.
It's a money-making thing.
It is. It's money. It's all about money. Now, they took The Hobbit, which was 1 book, and they turned it into 3 movies. I enjoyed that, but to take, there's just not enough meat.
Yeah.
In that last Hunger Games book to try to make 2 movies out of.
I agree.
And I think that's what hurt him a little bit. I still liked him, but this one, even though I haven't read this book, and I may go do that now, but I think this one should have been 2 movies. They should have stopped this right at the end of part 2.
Yeah. I agree.
With there's a thing that calls reference to the first movie, which I loved, and I think they should have ended it right there with what happened to him, and then continued the story with another movie.
Yeah,
because then they could have. I mean, yeah, I agree with Mike that it was slow, but I think they rushed it. And because it was like all of a sudden things changed.
Yeah.
Between the girl and Snow. And there wasn't enough
time with that.
They should have took their time with it, and they didn't. And I think that's what I didn't like the most about it.
And she had no problems doing it.
No. No, she turned that page like a book, and and it was over. So yeah, I was like, whoa, that was. So yeah, it made me think twice about her.
Yeah, that's what I think. Something was just off.
Something was weird, like especially when she was like, "You can trust me," and I'm like, usually when someone says that, I can't trust them.
Yeah,
that's too good to be true. But aside from that, I think this is absolutely worth a watch. Definitely for fans of this franchise.
Yeah.
I think it's worth seeing in the theater because it was fun seeing it in the theater. I enjoyed it. But like Chris, who hadn't seen any of the Hunger Games films, I wouldn't start with this one.
I don't think you need this. I think you can. You
can solo this. Yeah, I think you can solo this and not even worry about it. But if you're not a fan of the books or anything like that, I don't know.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth watching for those that are like that. I wanted to point out that Dell is on your channel.
Oh, commenting. Yes. Thank you, Dell.
And so is Jay. What's up, Jay?
Jay?
Thanks for joining us. So yeah, three people are on your channel watching this, and then the others are on the lowdown. So yeah, thank you guys for watching us, no matter where you are. We did have somebody. Yeah, we appreciate you taking the time to watch us. But yeah, this is our last movie of the night, and let's talk about our highlights. I think that's a great idea. I do have a couple pictures to show, but we're almost identical across the board here.
Really?
There's only one category where we have a different score. Otherwise, we have the same score. So we both have 10s for cinematography. We both have 9s for cast. We both have 8s for acting, story, script, direction, and wild card. The difference is in music. You have an 8 and I have a 9.
Yeah.
And Miss Caveman's here.
Caveman.
What's up, Miss Caveman? Better late than never. I agree.
Yeah. I say this. I like this movie. I will probably buy it.
I'll buy it for sure. I mean, but I'm a fan of the original movies, so yeah. This will probably be a 4K buy for me.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, let's go to our final scores on The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Coming in first place, you guys. Here we go. IMDb is giving this a 7.2. Rotten Tomatoes critic score 65%. Audience score 89%. Rich, you gave it an 81. I gave it an 82 for an average score of 81.5.
Have we been this close in a while?
It's been a while since we've been this close on this many movies. But yeah, we're within, aside from Killer Book Club, where we're 10 points apart, we're within 2 points at most for the rest of these movies.
Yeah.
So, man, good show. What have we got? What have we got for next week?
Well, next
Besides
week,
our guest.
We have a wonderful guest next week. He busts my balls. Speaking of balls, Evan busts them all the time. So he's going to be joining us in next week's movies. We're going to put him through the ringer. We have, hold on, let me put my list up. Sorry. We got Wing Woman, which is a foreign movie on Netflix.
Yep.
We got May, December. It's got Evan's crush, Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
On Netflix. We got If You Were Last on Peacock. The Haunting of the Queen Mary on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
And Quiz Lady on Hulu. We're Hulu heavy next week.
And we got a couple of Hulus going on. We got 2 Hulus, 2 Netflixes, and a Peacock.
Yeah. And the Partridge in the Pear Tree.
Yeah.
So those are our movies next week. So guys, if you have these streaming services, give them watch and let us know your thoughts in the comments next week.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you see
I don't
them
think
already.
there's any horror movies. Are there any horror movies in that group?
Yeah. Haunting of Queen Mary.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That was my pick.
Spoiler
that was
alert.
my pick. That was my pick.
And
I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna like it. So that's all there is to it. I'll like it.
You'll like it. I bet you'll like it.
Yeah. I bet I'll like it. I'm, on Spirits with Spirits, our season finale is going to be on the haunts of the Queen Mary.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I've been there twice.
You have?
And yeah, I've had some experiences on that ship. It's definitely haunted.
No.
No. Awesome. All right. You guys. What?
No, I'll say those are our 5 movies for next week.
Yeah.
And we have Evan on there.
And we have Evan. Evan's going to take a guest spot. I'm going to get his scores. And so our by the number scores for next week will be the average of the 3 of us. So that'll be fun. I'm excited. Dell has already seen Quiz Lady. It was a pleasant surprise.
I agree, Dell.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. Spicy says, hey to Miss Caveman. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that.
Right. Dave's adjusting his nuts.
My phone rang and it's in the podcast board. So we can actually take calls.
Oh, that's awesome.
That'll be very interesting. So available, give me a holler. I would love to be on there. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, if you're available, you guys, and this goes for everybody. If you want to be on the show, join us as a guest on By the Numbers. We would love to have you. Just take a look at the Faces for Radio Instagram page or the About section of the YouTube channel for the 4K Lowdown, it will have the schedule, and we have the schedule up to the end of the year done.
And I'll throw the first week of January up too.
Yeah. As I say, first week of January is done too, so we'll throw that up. So if you see an episode that you want to do, just hit us up.
And you got to watch all 5 movies.
You have to watch all 5 movies, and you have to score them in the Lowdown format. So be ready for that, because we'll need to get your scores ahead of time before the show. When are y'all going to come to Kentucky and go to Waverly? We have already done Waverly Hills.
I thought you were about Waverly Place, Disney Channel.
No, definitely not a Disney section. But no, Waverly Hills Sanatorium ranked number 13 on our haunted locations list for this year. So that was a lot of fun. Great spot. If they will let me on, they will let anyone on. Yes.
Corey's awesome. He was a great guest.
Corey was great. We're gonna have Corey back.
Yeah.
If we don't invite you back, then you'll know. But I haven't had that happen yet. So
there's a funny story behind the 20th.
Yeah. Let us know if you ever come back. Yeah. Well, no, we don't actually physically go. We review history and look at other investigations. We haven't actually physically gone together on an investigation yet. I've gone and he's gone separately. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. That's a like best case scenario. That's our goal for the future, is to be able to travel around and go to haunted locations. And if we ever do, Waverly Hills is definitely on our bucket list to go see. Cool. Yep. Jay, I've got you on the list. As soon as we do Killers of the Flower Moon, I will let you know.
Yeah. There hasn't been an Apple release date for it yet.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing probably mid-January.
Yeah.
It'll be on there.
I would say January, February at the latest.
Yeah. That's it, guys.
All right.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Yeah. Really appreciate you guys being on here. Rich, any last thoughts on these movies before we go?
No, my two recommendations. I'm gonna go with 2 is Leo, because like you said, it's a great family movie. And then Hunger Games. I think it's worth seeing.
Yeah. So Chris is gonna go see Saltburn and would like to you guys' thoughts on that. Yeah. I'm looking into that myself. I don't think it'll be a theater watch for me.
Yeah.
But
maybe when it hits video on demand.
Yeah, when it hits video on demand, or because I think it's A24, right?
I have no idea.
I think it's A24, but it seems like that style.
Yeah.
But thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Caveman is son-in-law. Oh yeah, Caveman snoring. I hope you got him off the couch tonight, right, Miss Caveman?
Yeah.
So just want to make sure that he doesn't have to sleep on the couch tonight. Corey, you're welcome, brother. We'll see you on the 20th, and for the rest of you guys, we'll see you next Wednesday,
8:30,
which is the 6th, 8:30 Central, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, for episode 47 of By the Numbers. Until then, for my bro Rich and myself, we're going to say God bless, take care, be safe, and we'll see you next time on the Faces for Radio podcast.
Goodbye, guys.